Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and in this case, I want to share with you this video from this woman, Rachel Maddow, show MSNBC. Sure, you may be wondering, who watches this? I mean, I bet some people do watch it, and I bet some people trust these, talking heads, these people that they see on the mainstream media, MSNBC. It has to be something somewhat serious. This woman is, I don't know, what is she, a reporter, a journalist? I very much doubt that, but she's pretending to be one, at least in this case. So this is the kind of thing that ends up costing people's lives, and I'm dead serious. This is the kind of thing that when you spread misinformation the way this woman is doing, and there's obviously no one interested in putting an end to this, because, I mean, it's not as if this is being checked and verified. I mean, we are barely allowed to express even an opinion here in YouTube. YouTube immediately nails us with a strike if we share even an opinion on something that's not perfectly in line with the guidelines from the CDC or the World Health Organization. And even if we do that, even if we follow those guidelines themselves, if there's something in the least that they don't like all that much, boom, we get a strike and we get our work ruined because we are barely allowed to express an opinion anymore in media such as this. And this is I don't have MSNBC available like good old Rachel Maddow has to express her opinions. But which are her opinions? Let's listen to her and see how safe this is, okay?
But instead of the vaccine being able, it means instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person to person, spreading and spreading, sickening some of them, but not all of them. And the ones that it doesn't sicken don't know they have it. And then they give it to even more people because they didn't recognize they were, right? Instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person, potentially mutating and becoming more virulent and drug resistant along the way, now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus. The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. It cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people. That means the vaccines will get us to the end of it.
How many people listen to this woman? I mean, I imagine maybe some old lady that still trusts, her, TV and the news, watching this, saying, okay, I'll do this, and now I'm okay, I'm covered. Goes out there, gets sick, and dies because they listen to this woman. Is this woman still working? Let me know in the comments. Is she still fully employed? Is she still allowed to be in contact with the public, putting everyone at risk with her misinformation? This is the definition of misinformation: knowingly lying to people. We're barely allowed to express even an opinion here in YouTube without YouTube striking us. Even if we follow the guidelines like I do, I follow the guidelines to the T. And even when you just express an opinion that's they don't like so much, boom, you get a strike and it's bye-bye. Now, this woman is allowed to spread lies, misinformation. What is misinformation? It's knowingly lying to people. It's not that you're just wrong, because one thing that could perfectly happen, for example, in a platform like this one, in YouTube, where you have podcasters, people that are not medical professionals but are just talking and sharing their thoughts. I think this or I think that. My opinion is this. I'm not a medical professional, but I think that this could be interesting to share with others. Even that is not allowed. But in the context of our conversation, you are allowed to make mistakes or have an opinion that is not factually correct. That is not spreading misinformation. That is freedom. That is essential freedom of talking, sharing ideas, and then trying to find a good conclusion out of that, or not, or just entertain people. You're not pretending to be a doctor. You're not pretending to be the news lady informing the population. Now, this is misinformation. This is knowingly lying to people because this was never true. What this woman, Rachel Maddow, just said in this clip was never true. Not in March 29, 2021, not ever. That was never true. If you went to the website of the manufacturer of the drug, they never said that. They never made such a claim. If you went to the World Health Organization website, they never said such a thing. So why is it that they're knowingly lying and spreading misinformation that costs thousands of people their lives? Because, again, you may be laughing about who watches MSNBC. Well, someone watches it. Sure, it's not going to be many people. It's not going to be like a somewhat popular YouTube channel. No, it's going to be a lot less. But someone still watches. Someone still takes it seriously. And someone is going to be paying for that, maybe even with their lives. No doubt someone listened to this and thought, okay, I'm good. I'm solid now. Not only this woman, the President of the United States said, okay, you want to go back to live like normal? Get your thing done. Get it taken care of. You'll go back to living like normal. He said that time and again. Even though the facts that were already available at that point did not align with such a claim. That was never true. It wasn't true before. It's definitely not true now. But it wasn't true before even when they were saying it. Why? Because of political reasons? I suppose this is me making assumptions now, right? Careful, YouTube. I'm not pretending to be a doctor here. I'm just trying to understand why is it that they're spreading misinformation. Who's benefiting from this? Who's the owner of these groups that may have certain interests? That's the only way I can find any logic to purposely lying to people in such a manner. And this is yet again one of these things that if just like when they talk about the with masks. Why? This is from CNN, okay? YouTube, before censoring anything. Why you should upgrade your mask as the Omicron variant spreads. This was also already available. I mean, even when the pandemic first started, if you went and looked, I did this for my humble YouTube channel. Go to 3M, which is the it's just one of the many, but 3M is definitely the biggest manufacturer of personal protection equipment. They have guidelines. They've been studying, researching all of this for a very long time. They know what works for one thing and what doesn't work for another. They know the kind of filtration that you get from each material, each type of mask, each of the different gradings that they have. If it's an N90, if it's an N95, if it's an N99, what is it that they use for one thing and the other, and what is it that does not work? So when they finally end up admitting that it doesn't work, they say, well, this is just, and here it says in the article, the idea was so as to make sure that the medical experts and the healthcare, here it is, changing guidelines, okay? During the first several months of the pandemic, health experts discouraged the general public from buying N95 masks since medical professionals were facing a shortage of personal protection equipment. But it has been many months since supply of N95 is an issue. So again, knowingly lying to people. What I knew, what 3M definitely knows, if you go to 3M and you read the information, the pile of PDFs and data that they have as of what works for what, you always knew this. So why is it that they lied? Well, they say that here because they wanted to discourage the general public from buying the N95 that the medical professionals needed. This is so evil, knowingly lying to people, telling people that something works when it doesn't, simply because you want to ensure the supply for another group of people. Who the hell are they to openly lie and spread misinformation just because they believe the lives of some people is more important than the lives of others? I get it that someone working in a hospital definitely needs the right equipment, but that doesn't give you any right at all to openly lie, especially as a public official or even as a journalist or a member of the media. who the hell are you to openly lie to people so as to put their lives at risk simply because you want to protect the supply of certain equipment for certain people? This is criminal. This is criminal. Same thing with this woman. Is this woman still working, pretending to be a journalist? Who's censoring this woman? Who's making sure she never is allowed to speak to human beings ever again? Maybe that's a little bit too harsh, but by God, she should not be spreading information for the public anymore. She's obviously not capable of doing basic research. She's obviously not caring enough as to worry about what she's doing, life she's putting at risk. But anyway, guys, that's the way it is. My point with all of this, be extremely careful. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and that misinformation may end up costing your life, because these two examples here are just the tip of the iceberg in terms of misinformation. They're spreading misinformation. Assumption of mine, is this done on purpose? I don't know. Let me know what you think there in the comment section. I find it, unbelievable that these people are still out there pretending to be serious journalists. Take care, folks.